What's going on, y'all? Your boy Jay Miles, the Credit Chief, and today we're going to talk about how you can use your credit in an emergency situation. And when you say emergency situation, what does that mean? Say, for instance, you lose your job. Say, for instance, you lose your car all of a sudden. Right? Say, for instance, you just need access to cash. Right? There's three things you can do with your credit that can help you in all three of those situations. That's leverage, and leverage. Yes, you have to understand that you can use your credit as a crutch. That's what credit is for. Credit is to give you access to things that you may not be able to get right away, without credit, right? Right? That's why when people say cash is king, that's the old mindset, because cash runs out. Yeah, you might have a job, but like I said before, what if you lose your job? Your cash savings run out. What do you have at that point? You then have a good credit score to use that and leverage that to gain more access to cash or capital, right? Money, same thing. So for instance, first situation, you lose your job, you get laid off. And during the COVID, that happened a lot, right? A lot of people lost their job. A lot of people got laid off because of the COVID, right? They can't afford it, or budget happens a lot of times and you no longer have a job, right? The average person does not have 3 to 6 months of expenses saved up in their bank account. So what are you going to do then? You don't have, with no reserves, what are you going to do? You're going to use your credit. Majority of people that have good credit, at least, in the 700s or higher, have credit cards. Credit cards is a vital piece of what builds your credit score, right? Say you have 2 to 3 credit cards, and say they equal up to about, say, $20,000, $25,000, $30,000 worth of cash. You now can use that to live off of while you're searching for a job. Because if you lose your job, I'm only assuming that you're hustling. You're doing what you need to do to make money and to find another job, right? To do something. In the meantime, if you run out of reserves or you don't have reserves, but you have those credit cards, that's your capital. That's your money you can use in the meantime, right? Your expenses, say your expenses is $4,000 a month and you have $30,000 worth of credit cards. Do the math. You have some months to work with, right, to get another job to then pay back those credit cards. Because yes, you have to understand that you will have to pay back those credit cards. But in the meantime, while you're searching for a job, do what you need to do to meet the minimum payments of those credit cards. But use the credit cards to make ends meet, to eat, right? To feed your family, right? To live, right? To pay your bills, right? Majority of my bills, guys, are on my credit cards. It's only a few that they don't allow to use for credit cards, but everything else I put on my credit cards, and then I use the money I make for my business and the military to then pay off the credit cards. But in an emergency situation, you don't have those things. Use the cash that you were granted through your good credit, your good habit, the history that you've built, and use that to live off of in the meantime, right? Pay your bills with the credit card. Get food with the credit card. Get groceries, right? Keep the lights on. Keep the gas on. Keep the heat on during this cold weather, right? Keep the AC on during hot weather with your credit cards until you get a job. Once you get a job, once you get back on your feet, right, you then can start paying back that credit card debt. You can start paying it off. Yes, your score will drop some because you're using your credit cards. But guess what? Who cares about your credit score at that point? Because it's an emergency situation. You need to do what you need to do to take care of your family. And that's the reason of having good credit from the get-go. Just in case something goes down, you then can leverage your credit, right? Remember I said leverage? Leverage your credit to live off of, to make ends meet until you get back on your feet. All right, another situation, say you lose your car. Or matter of fact, let's go backwards again. Another thing you can do with good credit is to get a small loan. Some loans don't require proof of income. The big ones may, because they need to trust you. But again, with good credit, sometimes they see that history built, right? But you may be able to get a small loan in order to also pay some of your bills or take care of things, right? Maybe a small loan to get some groceries and stuff like that in order to get back on your feet, right? But again, it starts with having good credit. Losing your car. Say you lose your car. Say, for instance, you got in an accident. I don't know, worst case scenario, you forgot to pay your insurance, or your insurance didn't cover it all. Say, for instance, your insurance don't cover the full bill for the car. You have that credit. You have credit to get the small loan, or again, your credit cards to take care of what gap insurance didn't take care of, or what your insurance couldn't cover. Hopefully you have a good insurance policy to take care of that stuff, but we're talking worst case scenarios. Worst case scenario, leverage your credit to pay those bills, to take care of that income that you couldn't cover from your insurance. Or guess what? What if you just need a whole new car? What if you total that one out and you get that check, or you don't get something, right? Again, we're talking worst case scenario, and you just need to leverage your credit to get a car. If I have a $15,000 credit card, which I do, a $12,000 credit card, even a $10,000 credit card, you can use that to pay for a car. Purchase a car with your credit, or get approved for an auto loan with your credit to get you a car. You don't have to have the cash to just drop. You might just need just enough to get approved. My lips is ashy. There you go. You might just need enough to get approved for that car loan, and now you have a new car. My bad, y'all. Now you have the auto loan. Now you can go get that new car. Now I wouldn't advise you to go get an expensive car. I advise you to get something to get you from A to B. A to B for now, until you get back on your feet. But you can leverage your credit to do so. If you don't have credit, you can't get the loan, right? Because you're probably going to get denied. Excuse me. You probably don't have credit cards, right? Because you have bad credit. So most people have bad credit, don't have credit cards, or very maxed out credit cards. If you have good credit, you keep your credit good, you can always have that leverage, right, to get a loan, or use the credit cards you have to get the purchases you need. Say, for instance, you need to all of a sudden you lose access to a babysitter, and you need to start paying for daycare. Daycare is a lot. You might not have the funds saved up. Guess what? Use your credit to pay for that daycare. You might have credit cards. And if you don't have credit cards, you have good credit. You can get approved for credit cards. You can get approved for interest-free credit cards for 12, 15, 18 months. Now you have an interest-free loan, pretty much, because that's what a credit card with interest-free is. It's pretty much like another loan. It's a loan. It's an interest-free loan that you can now make a purchase on, and you have that 15 to 18 months to pay off that credit card without it growing interest. So having good credit is like a crutch when it's in need, when you're needed, right? Initially, when you're making money, you have a job, you have a car, you're not going to use it as a crutch. You're going to use it as a tool and build that to continuously gain access when needed. But emergency situations go down. Why not have good credit to be able to leverage, to lean on your credit to make sure you make it to the next level, right? To make sure you have a car to drive, or the money to still be able to eat, the money to still be able to pay your bills, right? Good credit ain't just about, oh, I can get approved for credit cards. What are you going to use those credit cards for? To build or to lean on in case of an emergency situation. Oh, I got good credit now, I can get approved for a loan. Yeah, but it's good to get approved for a loan, when times are good. But what about when times are bad? Now it's good to have that loan to pay for things, to get the car, right? To get an apartment, right? To get daycare taken care of, to get groceries, right? If you get a personal loan, that money is yours to do whatever you choose to, and then you make the minimum payment. So hustle, get on Uber, get on Lyft, get on Uber Eats, get on all these these opportunities that they have now to make money, to make the minimum payments and start paying that credit card back until you get the real job or the real career started that you're looking for. But build your credit up now at the beginning, so if ever a time there is an emergency situation, you have access to capital. You have access to cash. You can pull out the cash from the credit card, or you can leverage somebody else's cash. The point is, get your credit to a point where you can leverage it. You can leverage it. I'd rather have good credit and not ever get in a situation where I need it to, to be used as a crutch, than to not have good credit and then need it when an emergency situation goes down. Trust me, it's for your own good. Okay? Even if you don't agree with credit, just get it to a point where you're good, and you just keep it there, because if an emergency situation goes down, you go wish you had some type of credit, some type of way that somebody can validate you as a person, because that's pretty much what credit is being used for nowadays, to judge you without knowing you. They're going to look at your credit and then give you that side eye if you got jacked up credit, or they go look at your credit and pop tall and say, oh, Mr. Miles, come this way. What color you want? Which one do you need? Anything that you need, point it out. We got you. Why? Because your credit is telling the story for you. All right? Go ahead and subscribe, right? Like this video, subscribe to my channel, right? We're here dropping jewels. We're here to educate. It's all about financial literacy, building credit, building wealth. I'll talk to y'all soon.